Ready to go? All right. Welcome. We are in beautiful San Diego, California. If you look behind us, that is the Del Coronado Hotel and the beach, voted one of the top 10 beaches in the world. And yes, we are in Southern California, and people are ice skating behind us. Just one of the features of the Del Coronado Hotel. And it's the first night of what we're getting ready for the Eastbay National Cross Country Championships. And we've got a pool going on to see if we can say Eastbay and not say the word. We can say it now because it used to be Foot Locker. And it used to be Kinney before it was Foot Locker. So we went from Kinney to Foot Locker to Eastbay. So it is the 42nd annual Eastbay National Cross Country Championships. And we're all going to get used to saying that. We're just delighted that we're here. We've had great races all through the year. Last summer, we were talking about would we even have a cross country season? Yes, we've had a cross country season. We've had great races. We've had state meets. We've had national meets. And we've got one more meet to go. So we're just excited. Carrie Tollefson's with me here again. She's from Minnesota. So I'm a little bit cold out here because it's like 70 and Carrie is just loving it. So it's great.
You know, it's funny. I ran in Kinney my first year and then Foot Locker for 2 years. And then I've been a part of this Foot Locker family for all these years. And so I've seen it all. It's really exciting, but forgive me if I say Foot Locker as well.
That's okay. We may say it a couple times. As we mentioned, it's been an exciting year. We're just delighted that we were able to have a cross-country season after missing so much last year. And we're just delighted we're back here in San Diego, get to see so many of our friends and welcome 80 of the best cross-country runners in the country for one more final great race here. But, we've been talking all year here about all the great races that have been going on. So before we jump in, we're going to bring in all the regional winners, and a couple of local boys that have made it to the Nationals are going to join us live. And then we're going to bring some experts on to talk about the race and all the people that are going to be involved. But, we've been talking all year about all the great races. We had the NCAA Cross Country Championships just recently. That was another great race.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And we spoke to a lot of the coaches and a lot of the athletes that were participating in it. But man, to see Lori Hennis, she's a Foot Locker alum. And then to win her very first title as a team there at NC State was pretty amazing.
Yeah, and then Mike and NAU winning the fifth one in 6 years. That's a dynasty. There's no doubt about it. It was great races all the way through. Connor Mance, though, he's the man, huh?
He is. And, he won his second NCAA championship in a year.
That's right.
Never will that happen, hopefully, again in our lives. But to see him, win 2 cross-country championships, and then he leaves the NCAA, has about a week off, and then he runs his first USA track and field half marathon national championships.
As a professional.
As a pro, and he wins. So, we know that Mance is amazing. He won here. He's, amazing. But to see him now as a pro doing so well, and guess what? We're going to get to see him here this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. He will be with us this weekend in San Diego. Connor Mance, the NCAA champion, the 2-time NCAA champion, and a great ambassador for the sport. So one of the great things about the Foot Locker experience for the kids that come is all the people they get to hang out with. So we mentioned that Connor Mance will be with us. Molly Huddle, one of the greatest American distance runners of all time, will be Shalane Flanagan, Olympic medalist, also will be here with us. We have Jorge and Ed Torres, 2 of the greatest runners in Foot Locker history. Sarah and Steve Slattery will be joining us. It should be exciting for the athletes. But we've got 80 pretty good kids coming in also, don't we?
I'd say. To see 40 athletes on the boys' side and the girls' side come to compete at what is probably the most historic high school national championship in the country and around the world. People know this race all over the world, and it's really spectacular and so special.
They do, and you look at the alums. Galen Rupp and Matt Centrowitz. It just goes on and on and on. But this race itself will be exciting. We've got 52 state champions that'll be racing this weekend. 27 on the boys' side, 25 on the girls' side. Remember, there's only 40 kids in the race, and 27 have been state champions, so they're used to winning. But we've got 5 kids that'll be running this weekend here that are undefeated going into this race, and 3 more that were undefeated going into the regional. So that's 8 kids that went through their whole season without losing a race. And unfortunately, at the end of it, there's only going to be 2 more that will be undefeated.
no matter what happens out there. It's just something that you take with you for a lifetime. So it's really cool to be up front and to break the tape. I'm sure I never did it, but I've commentated a lot here, and I know that no matter if you're first or 40th, you'll always remember this experience.
You will. It's going to be what's very difficult, and for these runners, we've talked about this before. So you've got 8 kids that didn't lose a race all year, and you've got 27 state champs on the boys' side. They are used to, and we go through the results. Winning their state meet by a minute and a half or 80 seconds, whatever. But tomorrow or Saturday, when they get out there, there's going to be people with them the whole way.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing when you come to a championship like this, and you're used to running at home on your own courses and against your own competition. Sometimes you get used to the silence. You get used to having space around you, and when you have bodies around you and you hear the people breathing, or maybe you don't think they're breathing heavy, and it gets into your head. So this is a really cool opportunity for athletes that are on their own in their own state to have this competition and to feel like they're running against what could be the next NCAA champion or what could be maybe the next Olympian. So it's a really important step in these young athletes' lives.
I think that's the unique feature of the Foot Locker. Of course, there's no team here. They're here on their own, individuals. It's sort of like their first step into the elite level. When you start to travel on your own, you've got to prepare on your own. One of the things here, they'll allow the coaches to meet with them on Friday for a little while, but they're pretty much on their own. And this is that step that you got to take, where you have to now not rely on your teammates. And with only 40 kids in the race, there's no place to hide.
If you
have a bad day and you get 150th in the race, nobody knows. But unfortunately here, if you're a boy and you run 16:30 or 17 minutes, you look like you're way behind because it's such a great field. And on the girls' side, the same thing. We're going to have girls who are going to break 17 minutes on a really tough 3-mile course.
Yeah, but I've looked at so many articles and so many of the athletes that are posting, and they're really excited to come have fun. They want to run hard, obviously. They want to win the race, but they also just are excited to be a part of this historic race, like we said. So, regardless of what happens, I know as the athlete, you got to think that you want to win, right? But at the end of the day, 20 years down the road, you're going to just be so proud of yourself for making it.
That's exciting. Well, hey, we would like to talk to some of the special people that are going to be involved here over the weekend, and we're trying to basically connect with 8 different parts of the country. So we may be a little bit late on some of them and trying to get some people in. So we'll start by moving ahead and bringing in our first live guest. So Kennen, we're going to bring him right on in here. Kennen, welcome. We're going to speak right into that. And you've met Carrie Tollefson before?
Yeah, I have.
Outstanding. So this is exciting, Kennen. So Kennen is from Francis Parker High School, and I'm looking on Google Maps today, 8 miles away from Morley Field.
Yeah, I literally drove from school now it was 25 minutes, so I'd say it's pretty close.
To say you have a home field advantage is a bit of an understatement, isn't it?
Definitely, a little bit.
How many times have you raced at Morley Field?
Too many times to count. I think I've raced here 3 times this year already, so it's definitely a place I'm very familiar with.
And you're undefeated all year.
Yeah.
You're the California State Division 5 champion.
Yeah.
You were the Mount Sac Invitational champion where you tied the course record.
Yeah.
We were giving Kennen a bad time. If he hadn't thrown his arms up at the end of
I
that, he'd have broken the course record. But that's okay. You're with the Mercados and Tal and Tamagno and a few other pretty good runners. So
I'd say.
That's pretty good. But you ran on this course. There is an invitation.
to come out. That would be kind of fun. Definitely trying. So I'll see. I'll see. I mean, it's the national championship, so I hope that that would ruffle a few feathers. So I'm definitely excited.
Yeah, it's pretty special because you and I talked at the Mount Carmel
That's
Invitational
correct.
in September, and you said this was your goal.
This was my goal.
So, a lot of times goals don't come about, but you're here, you're in the
Yeah.
national championship. You're undefeated. You and Tyrone had a great race last week,
Yeah, it was a
but you
close one.
right to the finish there. So there are some great runners here. So without giving your strategy away, you like to go out hard.
I do. I do. And I mean, I may have to change a few things for this race just because there are a lot of fast people running. But yeah, I'm definitely going for a top finish.
Too bad of a student, I'm guessing also, huh?
No, no, I do like to study a little bit.
How come Yale? Because I read online once.
Yeah.
They picked Yale as the kind of if you're looking at a surprise that
Yeah.
recruited so well. Isn't there Alex is going there
Yeah,
later too?
Alex and Braden King from California. All three of us are going. Well, for me, it was really one, of course, the academics definitely puts it up there. But I really did love the campus. I absolutely fell in love with the campus. The team, after meeting with them, they just seemed like a really genuine group of athletes, and they all wanted each other to get better. There wasn't a lot of inter-team competition that I saw elsewhere. And then, of course, Coach Harkins, I absolutely loved him. Kind of hit it right off the bat. So yeah, I'm really excited about these next 4 years with Yale. But I've got one more race in high school cross country, so that's super exciting.
How
went,
are your
pretty
emotions?
far away, huh?
Oh, I did. I went to Villanova.
Oh,
I like to get that in there. But yeah, I went pretty far away. But I was just wondering, what are your emotions like? You said it's your last cross country race of your senior year. So what is that?
I mean, I still haven't fully processed it. I've been running cross country for 4 years, and then I did middle school for a few years too. So it's definitely something that, and I've actually all done it for the same school because I go through K through 12. So for 6 years, I've raced cross country for Francis Parker, and this is my last race as a Francis Parker student. So it's definitely something to think about, but it's just motivation to really give it my all, make it a race that I'm really proud of, so that I can finish on a high note.
What did you learn from regionals?
I learned that not to take it out too hard, to kind of save it so that you do have that last kick. But I'm gonna use the hills because I do love the hills, and I'll have some of those on Saturday. So a lot of good fun. I'll definitely push myself, but I'm really excited.
When you drove up to the Dell tonight,
Yeah.
were you like, oh, it's time?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, crossing the bridge, I was like, okay, now this is for serious, and I'm gonna be back here tomorrow. So
I know.
yeah, it's getting there. Saturday's coming up, but I couldn't be more excited about it.
You know what? I know you're from here, but no matter what now, crossing that bridge,
Oh yeah,
you still get that feeling.
Oh no, for sure.
Like even when you're 40, almost 45 years old, I still am like, oh my gosh, I have to race now.
Yeah.
I don't have to race anymore.
Yeah.
But I still get that feeling. You're gonna always get that feeling.
Oh,
You're
for
imagining what it'll be like when you're 45.
Right.
Is that what
I'm
you're
only
saying?
25.
There you go. Very good. Very good. And, you're kind of I wouldn't say an underdog,
Yeah.
but maybe underknown because you're pretty good in track.
Yeah.
But the times you run in cross country, they're equivalent to running an 845, 850, 3200, which I assume your goal in track.
That's my goal for
in
track
California
this
year, getting to the state meet at 3200 is going to be just
It's going to take a lot.
beast of a challenge.
It's going to take a lot.
But so do you think you kind of come in with that advantage? People are looking at Tyrone, looking at Gavin, looking at Ho, looking at them. Say, California guy. Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
So you think you have a little advantage, maybe?
I definitely have the home field advantage. One thing I liked about my underclassmen years in cross country was I didn't have a target on my back, and I kind of came in as the underdog. I definitely like coming from that position more. So I'm glad that I have a little bit of that for this race. But I mean, it is my last race in high school. I have the home field advantage. I will have the support. So yeah, I expect me to put in a fight because this is my last race, like I said, and I'm gonna give it my absolute all.
They're showing right now the regional here.
Yeah.
Of course, this week's a little easier than last week, isn't it?
It's definitely a little easier. Fewer hills, but it's the Morley Field still isn't that easy. So I'm glad. I'm glad that it'll be a challenging course because that's where I like to. That's where I shine.
Tell us quick about some of your training and what you think you've done
Yeah.
to get so good? I mean, you've been really kind of killing it
Yeah.
the last couple of years.
I mean, it's all about putting in the work. You know, I've recognized the longevity in this sport. Just for 6 years in cross country, so I've put in a lot of hill training over the last few years. That's why I love the hills. A lot of hills and trails. I mean, my high school doesn't have a track, so I haven't really trained on the track that
Really?
much. Yeah, so a lot of it has been cross country oriented. So all my mile repeats, all my 800 repeats have been on hilly courses, have been on hilly terrain. So I'm definitely up for the challenge. That's Saturday.
Your legs are gonna love you down the road.
Oh,
Because
they're
you've been on the
gonna-
soft
yeah.
more than you've been on the track or the pavement.
That's true. That's true.
You're a pretty good downhill runner. That makes a big difference on this course.
It does. It does, especially that last downhill with 800 to go. So
It does. It does. You got Mark Trammell, another San Diego kid. You guys are both Division 5. So
yeah,
in California,
and the same coastal league.
What's the same league?
Same
Yes.
league.
And the same division and the section.
Yeah.
And in California, Division 5 is the lowest enrollment divisions.
Yeah.
But ironically, everybody sees Newbury Park Division 1, Maricosta D2, West Torrance D3, all those great schools. But you guys are fast as anybody and even faster.
Yeah.
And at the Mount Sac Invitational was kind of bizarre this year. Fastest time from Division 5.
Yeah.
Second fast D4, third fastest D3, fourth fastest D4, and the fastest guy was D1.
Yeah.
So you, as a D5 kid, you guys are right out there with the big boys.
Yeah. It's definitely fun. Yeah. I mean, I come from a small school, so definitely Division 5. But again, I like coming in as the underdog. I like being the person that people don't really expect to put in a fight, but then puts it in and surprises everybody. So I'm glad I have a similar. I wouldn't call it an advantage, but I'm in a similar position for this race.
Have you ever come out here and spectated?
I have not. Not. And I was going to come and spectate if I didn't qualify, but luckily that's not a problem I have to think about because I'll be running it. But I mean, it's in San Diego, and I'm going to be coming back here a lot, so I will definitely be spectating it for years to come.
You will be, except you're in halfway across the country. I'm
Yeah.
sure Dad's excited that you're going to Yale there, so we'll see you. When you talk about that, have they talked at all about racing on the West at all? You get a chance to come home? Have they said that?
I know that they do spring training in San Diego, so
Oh, really?
I'm really excited about that. Yeah.
Oh.
So I'll come back here a few times.
Okay. Well, we just can't thank you enough. I know that it's a school night and getting anywhere, the traffic's a little hectic, but we appreciate you coming here.
Always glad.
And there'll be a lot of people cheering for you on this weekend.
Yeah.
So we want to thank Kennen Paula, Francis Parker Sr., undefeated all year, got second in the regional, hadn't lost a race until then.
Yeah.
Again, course records at the state meet. That was a Division 5 record, Mount Sac. And boy, it'd be sure fun. I remember watching Mark Davis and AJ Acosta and those kind of folks coming home. So maybe another win for San Diego. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having
Good
me.
luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. All right. So we're kind of on the cuff here. Riley Stewart is with us. So we'll bring Riley on here.
She is.
We're a little bit out of our order, but that's okay. Riley's the experienced one. Riley, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right. So, Riley, this is your third time. It's unfortunate we didn't have 2020. You'd have been a four-time finalist. That's always such a huge deal here. But, this would be great. You were 18th or 21st in 2018, 17th in 2019. You ran running lane last week, ran great. You were third there. It's been a good year. You're the California State Champ, 800, 1600, 3200. 209, 440 for the full mile, and you were the Colorado 5A championship. And like everybody else, it seems like going to Stanford too, huh? Coach,
Yeah.
he's a heck of a recruiter, is he?
Yes, he's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty good. There are 6 of you of the 80 here going to Stanford. Boys and girls have been moving on in the men's and women's program. Stanford is going great. Let's talk a little bit about your regional. It was a good race. You seem to be pretty much in control or under control. The pace was not too fast for you?
Yeah, we started out like a little slow because it starts off with that giant hill at the beginning. So I just tried to go up that hill and stay conserved and then like use the downhills at the finish to like finish strong.
Very good. You said the downhills. You've been here before. And the one thing we were just talking before we came online here is that experience makes a big deal here. the winner is usually someone out of the region who's been a regional champ. It's usually someone who's been here before, and it's usually a senior, or the girls' side, a junior or senior, and you are all three of those things. So you have that experience. What have you learned running here twice before about the course and the experience?
Yeah, honestly, from the past 5 times I've been here, it's an amazing experience. And I just love showing up to being against some of the best in the nation. And what I've learned about is to have fun with the experience and to just enjoy it. Because it's honestly experience you don't really get a lot, to run against all these girls. And like, it's basically the best in like the same place at the same time, which is hard, especially we figured out that that didn't happen last year. But I'm excited to come back this year and to like show that I've made my improvement over the years and to finish my high school season strong.
What's your favorite part about this weekend? You know, I know the race is so spectacular and exciting, but they have so many fun things that you can do here at the Dell.
Yeah, it's amazing. Honestly, just hanging out with like all the different girls and getting to know everyone is my favorite part. Like obviously the race is another experience with all like the crowd, and it's just an amazing national course. But to just be with everyone and to like get to know everyone and to race against people that you don't get to race against a lot is really just the best part for me.
Do you think you'll be the hunter or the hunted? It's always interesting in these races. I remember a couple years ago, we were talking with Caitlin Hart. Everybody looks at her. She was always used to go out so fast. And you don't necessarily go out fast, but you really like to push in the middle. So are you going to be looking at people, or do you want to push the pace? I don't want you to give away your strategy, but I do like to, what do you think first half mile? Where will you be and what will you be doing?
Well, I've learned from the past that going out on this course really, really fast kind of like punishes you later, I guess, because you get to that hill on the backside. So I just wanted to stay comfortable and stay within myself in the beginning and to put myself in a position where I can essentially get to the top 3 or top 5. So just stay in it and just stay comfortable in the first little bit and then leave stuff for the hill on the backside.
What kind of mental training have you been doing for this race?
Honestly, I've just been like trying to enjoy myself these past few weeks. I've had a lot of racing these past few weeks, so I've just been trying to use all those races as momentum leading into this week. And my mental state is like, I just need to finish strong because this is my last high school race. So I just want to have a really great last race and like leave it all out there.
Hey, what do you like better? So running lane is fast course, but it's flat. This is not flat. This is What do you prefer?
Honestly, I'm kind of feel like I'm more of a strength runner. Like obviously I like the flat, but like I come from Colorado, so I have like this altitude and like these hills. So I think that the hills will give me some advantage, and Kenosha is not a hard course either. So I'm thinking that I'm going to like the hills a little bit better than the flat.
I love your wall behind you, all of your numbers. What's your favorite number on there?
Oh, I don't know. You can see the Midwest ones and from Foot Locker the other past years. Those ones are pretty good, you know?
Outstanding. Stanford. So how come we chose Stanford?
Honestly, it was just like the perfect balance between academics and like what I was looking for in a program. JJ's done an amazing job. I could tell he thought like a lot about me as an athlete and cared about me. And obviously, I'm really excited to be with all the other girls and like that are going to be with me this weekend. It's going to be an amazing like experience to be with all these girls and to have girls pushing me every week. I'm just really excited to like be with all of them and to be teammates. So that was a huge, big deal for me.
Well, it'll be exciting. Are you all packed?
Not yet. I'm still working on it.
All right. Well, you got to bring your skates. I don't know if you can see behind us. They're ice skating here. You remember that on the beach? Did you do that?
I do remember that.
All right. And this year we're having a luau on Saturday night. So put something there appropriate for that. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us. We know it's a little later where you are, but really appreciate it. And gosh, this is kind of weird. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Riley Stewart, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And it looks like we have Angelina Perez. Is that who we have up next?
Hi.
There we go. Hey, we go a little bit further east. We go to New Jersey. So we mentioned we've got 5 athletes in the race tomorrow or Saturday that are undefeated this year. And I think we mentioned a little bit with Riley about having a target on your back. Still ranked number 1 by mile split right now, undefeated in New Jersey. Ran at Homedale Park, second fastest time, only to Caitlin Toohey. I'm sure you saw Caitlin's 8:57, 3,000 yesterday. So you're in exclusive company. But your regional, you ran pretty easily in that regional, and it seemed to go pretty well. did you feel so comfortable? Was it I hate to say an easy race for you, but gosh, you looked easy in there.
Yeah, the race itself was kind of a little bit crazy in the beginning. I didn't end up in like the best position, kind of like at the start of the race, and I kind of had to like go around basically like the big pack that was in the middle. So my first mile actually we went out a lot faster than we probably should have because the first mile is pretty flat, but then you go into the woods and it's basically all uphill. And I had never run the course before, so I wasn't really that familiar with it. So we were definitely in a pack up towards the first mile, and then I pretty much like separated myself from there and just kind of fell into my pace, and I finished the race pretty comfortably.
God, you look great at the end. It looks smooth as can be. What do you know about the course where you're coming out here this weekend?
So I have watched some videos on it, and I do know like the placement of the hill, and that you do it twice. Um, and I feel like from where I'm coming from, I was happy that there was a hill in the course and it wasn't completely flat because I feel like I can use that to my advantage just from the courses that I run on. Um, I just tend to do better on those than a course that's completely flat.
I mean, we saw how you could win by big margins, and you even said in one of your interviews, I guess, that you were a little bit concerned that you went the wrong way at Van Cortlandt.
Yeah, it was weird because you get into one point in like the woods and there really wasn't anyone kind of like standing around or anything. Um, and the one girl who was kind of with me through the first mile, she ended up, I found out later, she didn't end up finishing the race. And I like turned at one point because she wasn't like there. And I was like, did I go the wrong way? Like, where did she go? But then I ended up finding out that she didn't finish. But yeah.
We talked about there'll be 39 other great girls in this race on Saturday, but everybody will go. That's Perez right there. That's the girl right there. Do you like that? Do you like that pressure, or would you kind of like to be? I just want to come run.
I feel like it's definitely a mix. I think that the pressure can be good sometimes, but I also do kind of like having the factor of not people really knowing who I am. And I kind of had that the first 2 years because I started as a sophomore and people really didn't know who I was. And it was kind of like this year that more people started knowing me when I like came to meets. And it definitely did put more pressure on, but I feel like it was kind of good pressure too. So I am excited for this weekend.
I think your days of being unknown are over. That's it. Hey, how does a girl from New Jersey go to Florida? So you're going to go to the University of Florida next year?
Yes.
And
So for the most part, I was looking at schools all in the South area. I really don't like the cold, and I don't enjoy running in the snow over the winter. Um, and yeah, it was actually one of the schools that I looked at kind of later on, and then I wasn't even sure if I was going to go back for an official, and then I ended up going back, and I just clicked really well with all the girls on the team, and I had a really good balance between academics and athletics that I really liked, and I just felt like it was the perfect fit for me in the end.
That's what everybody says. We've been talking. We talked a little bit about North Carolina at the start here. Lori Henderson, that great program, and they always talk about how much they enjoy being part of that team. So sounds like you're heading for the right place to be.
Yeah.
So we are delighted that you are going to be here in just less than 24 hours. Are you packed and ready to go?
Yes, I am. My
Right.
flight tomorrow, I like board at 6:30 in the morning, so I'm leaving very early.
All right. Well, we anticipate a little gloomy weather tomorrow. It was a beautiful, about 75 and sunny. On Friday, supposed to be great, and Saturday, absolutely perfect. So for a girl who doesn't like the snow and who likes hills, we're just ordering you up the perfect day on Saturday.
Yes.
All right. So we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So it looks like we're heading west. Looks like we're going to go to Tyrone Gorsey. Is that our next guy? All right, Tyrone, good to see you again. So,
Hey.
hey, another one of our undefeated the entire season. Great race last week. We had Kennen on with us a little earlier. Took that pace out, but you ran pretty well. You've been doing that all year, haven't you? Middle of the
Yeah,
race going. Has that been kind of your plan? You've been training for those kind of tactics?
My goal is to going into races. I kind of treat every race a little bit differently, and I treated last race more differently than I did other races. But I mean, the goal is always to be up front, and that's what I tried to do best.
You saved a little for the end, though. I mean, we have to do that. How did you do that? Was it a conscious effort to go and have a little bit at the end, or is it just in you to be able to get up that final little hill and push it in?
I knew when jogging the course the day before, I knew that last hill would take out a lot of people, and on that downhill, Kennen kind of got me a little bit. But once it went a little bit flat, I knew I had a little bit left, so I kind of started my kick with 400 to go and just left it all out there.
Do you think this course suits you well then?
If it's anything similar to the West Regional course, then I think it does.
I think we just got one less hill for you here.
Yeah.
So, hey, it's a lot of travel. You had to come from Oregon down to Southern California last week, go back to Oregon, come back here tomorrow. You're going to be joining us. You okay to handle all that? I mean, runners now, you're getting so experienced traveling.
Yeah, I think in track season, I travel to Portland like every other week from Southern Oregon, so I feel like that prepared me well for this cross country season to travel a lot.
Hey, what was it like at school this week? Did they really appreciate? I mean, you beat everybody in the West. You are the man.
Yeah, there's always people, but people are always saying like, oh, it's Tyrone, he's always winning. Some people didn't really think much of it, but yeah, people really liked it, and it was really nice to get that atmosphere at school.
We talked about it a little bit at the top of the show where a lot of you guys are used to running races on your own, or you might win by big margins, or you're working out maybe on your own. What is it like to have so many guys that are usually in the men's race or the boys race? It's usually pretty tight for a long ways. You always have somebody around you. I don't know if that's going to happen on Saturday, but does that make you nervous? Do you like having bodies around you? Does it make you elevate your game even more?
I feel like with competition, it brings great times and better efforts. So I mean, it does make me nervous. I feel like before every race, I'm always nervous. So I don't think this race will be really any different from the West region. There's a lot of guys. I think we had 8 guys within 10 guys within 15 seconds. So I'm going to probably go into that with kind of the same into this race with kind of the same mindset.
It's a pretty hefty challenge ahead of you. You've got 5 boys in this race who are basically undefeated. You got 3 of you like yourself who haven't lost all. They all won regionals, and then kids like Kennen and Langen who were second in their regionals but undefeated. So you got 5 heavyweights. You feel like a heavyweight? Huh? You feel like one of the big guys?
I try my best. So.
All right. Got to have a little confidence, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we certainly appreciate you joining us. We know that you got to get ready for tomorrow. This is so fun. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. See you tomorrow. All right. Thank you.
All right. Let's move on back to the South now. This is kind of fun, being who's up each time. So, Ethan, we have Ethan Ashley. There he is. Ethan, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, Ethan. Outstanding regional. You've had a great year. Everything's gone pretty well. When the year started, did you think it was going to turn out this well?
No, I definitely did not. I mean, we had some goals beginning of the season, but I don't think we didn't think we were making it to national at the end of the season. So I'm super grateful to have this opportunity.
The South region was a great race. I mean, it was close all the way through. I think all 10 of you guys within 9 or 10 seconds. Sahil right on your tail there at the end. How hard was that finish in the South Regional?
It was very hard. I don't know if you know the course, but it's a flat 400 around the lake, so it's almost like a track finish. And we were definitely moving at the end there.
What was your strategy going into regionals?
Honestly, heading into regionals, it was just wanted to qualify. So just kind of get out in a good position and hang in the pack and make sure that coming around the lake at the end there, I was in the position to make the top 10.
It looks like in the race there were some moves put on some people as they went through each time, and then like we said, Sahil was taking that pace. But you look pretty good. Now that's flat. It ain't flat here on Saturday. Are you okay with hills?
I am. Our state course is a really hilly course. It like fast times there like 15:40. So we've run that a couple of times. We've run some hilly courses. So I think the way we do the seasons in boards has prepared me well.
So, your coach has run here before.
Yes, yeah.
1987.
Yep, long time ago.
So, what type of advice is he giving you? Because the course hasn't changed.
Right, yeah. It's been awesome having him, and he's sent one or two runners there too. So he's had some experience with the course. It's been awesome talking with him and just having him tell me, like what his time was, how he strategized his ways, because he still remembers some of the splits and stuff. So it's awesome to have him kind of coach me through it based on what he did, like what his other runners has done. It's been a blessing to have him.
There's a lot of pressure, no doubt about it, but it's also kind of neat, isn't it? You're going to be with 39 other boys who are just like you, state champs, regional champs. They keep winning by big margins and then getting this big race. It's a little different when you get to hang out. I know cross country is a team sport. It's always fun to be with your team, but now you get to kind of hang out with maybe the only other 39 boys in the country who know how hard it is that you've trained for the last 4 years to get here.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Never experienced anything like this, so I'm super excited to have the opportunity to come down there and hang out with some of the guys and just get to know some of them.
Todd Williams, who was a great Olympian, always used to tell the kids here, enjoy it because they're never going to be treated better than you are here. The Del Coronado is one of the most famous hotels in the world. You're going to be hanging out at the beach. We've got a race to run, but then a luau on Saturday night, so it should be a lot of fun. So we want to thank you, Ethan. Thank you so much for joining us. And it's just so much fun to say. We'll see you in a few hours.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Let's move on to the Midwest. All right. So we've got Riley. Do we have him up?
Yep.
There he is. Riley. Oh, hi, Riley. Welcome. Heartland, Michigan. Get back to those Midwest boys. Midwest boys have done very well here. In fact, more Midwest boys champions than any other region. So that's pretty good. You've run under 15 6 times this year, 14:37 for 5K, and 4:07. So you've got the wheels here, and you're the regional champion. So that region looked like a pretty good race, pretty even race, but you look pretty comfortable. Did you feel comfortable?
I say I was pretty comfortable throughout the whole race. I wanted to stay a little back, see if anyone was going to make a move in the earlier stages. And when coming down the hill, I felt decent, so I decided to pick it up a little bit, and it worked out at the end for me.
Very good. Now you're a kicker. You've got pretty good speed. How about hills? How are we on the hills?
I definitely feel like I'm pretty good with hills. I mean, like Riley said before, this course starts out with a really big hill. I mean, I felt comfortable going up that. And then there's just rolling hills throughout the rest of it. So I feel like I will be able to manage.
You've raced a lot this year, and it seems like you like to race. There hasn't been a big break for you. How do you stay so mentally sharp?
I just see every race as an utter opportunity to go out there and see where I'm at. Just basically pinpoint where I'm at in the season and see if I can improve on something or if I need to work on something else.
Well, you're going to certainly be in with 39 other great runners. Does that do you get excited about that? Would you rather be in a race that you could win by a minute, or you want to be in a race where you are coming over that last hill and it's got a dogfight?
I definitely rather have the competition because like having everyone around you is just like a really good boost, and it always ends like well for pretty much everyone. Like everyone always puts in all their effort, and we all just like leave it all on the course.
Have you studied up on the course at all, or just watching some of the old races?
Yeah, actually, a few days ago I was actually watching some of the races and like some little previews of the course. and it is definitely going to be a little bit more tough than what I do sometimes in Michigan, but I am definitely ready for it.
You do like Michigan. Stay home going to Michigan State. Was that
Yep.
an easy choice for you?
Honestly, I had my times where I was having trouble choosing between some colleges.
Yeah, we don't have any snow out here. All
Yeah.
we got is sand tomorrow. Okay, are you okay with that?
Yeah, honestly, I'm perfectly fine. I honestly like running in the warmer temperatures, so.
Well, then we have got the perfect day for you. All right, go get some good sleep, and we'll see you in a couple hours right back here.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, we said we have 2 San Diego boys with us this year, and we had Kennen earlier. Mark, come on in and have a seat. There you go, Mark. Take that.
All righty.
Thank you so much for coming on. So this is Mark Trammell. He is a senior at Santa Fe Christian, just a few miles up the road in La Jolla there. He's had a great year. Boy, started out well. Woodbridge, you ran fast at Woodbridge. Did you expect to run that fast, that early?
Yeah, that was about what I thought I would run. It was more about just winning the race was my goal. So
you didn't just win the race. You really pulled away there. That was fast.
Yeah.
It put you on the national scene, didn't it? I mean, you had a good track season, but now it's just like with Kennen. You guys were good in track last year. I know we had this disrupted, San Diego had kind of an open championship at the end, but you're an 852 miler now. I mean, you're basically that fast. So you're no longer under the radar. People expect you to run fast. How was it at school this week? You guys have had a run like crazy. You make it to the state meet. You run great at the state meet. You make it here. Did the people at the school appreciate it? How at the level you are?
Yeah, I got an article posted about me in our school newspaper. The SFC Talent is what we call it, and my athletic director recognized me. So it's a pretty cool week.
Very good. So we talked to kids here all night about the course. You've run here a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like it?
Yeah, I do. It's interesting. The terrain is a little tough. It's not quite as hilly as Mount Sac, which is a regional course, but the terrain's a little tougher. It's a good course to make moves on. That's for sure.
It's a fair course. It's a cross-country course, isn't it? Yeah. And you run it. It's interesting because you run it different ways. Your section meet's a little different. The invitationals are sometimes different here, but it's basically the same course as far as you got to get up that big hill and you got to run those downhills well. Do you run downhill well?
I do. I've been working on it throughout the season. At the beginning of the year at Clovis, I would get dropped on the downhills, and I knew that's something I needed to work on. And at Mount Sac last week, it was much better. So, yeah.
Well, we asked Kennen, where are your spectators going to be?
My spectators all around the course.
Coming?
Oh yeah. I'm expecting a lot of people to come. So.
Are they going to be like painting their chests or like wearing certain shirts? What are they doing?
We'll see. Hopefully, some signs.
It's interesting. We mentioned earlier, you guys are in the lower enrollment division, but it's fast. I mean, I don't think people appreciate how good that division has been. And you and Kennen are in the same league?
Yeah, same league. So all year I've been racing against them.
So you're one of the top 40 boys in the country, but you didn't win the league championship.
That's right.
That's okay to lose to somebody like that. But you guys seem to be like pretty good friends. It's nice to have someone who can appreciate how hard it is that you work.
Oh yeah, Kennen's awesome.
Yeah. Very good. College choice? Have you made a college choice yet?
Wake Forest.
Wake Forest.
Is this new? Just recently?
No, I committed September.
In September?
Yeah.
What was the deciding factor?
I loved Coach Hayes and Coach Azuri. The coaches really hit it off well with them, and their training philosophies is a program I'm really going to be able to buy into.
Does it line up with what you were doing in high school?
Yeah, similar, and it's something I would definitely agree with. Like if I would to train on my own.
What do you want to study? Do you know yet?
Not sure. Going in undecided. We'll see. So.
Boy, Santa Fe Christian, a small school. Your girls' team was great this year. Your boys' team was great this year. Really a good atmosphere. What made the difference with you guys this year?
For our boys and girls team?
Boys and girls. You guys had a great year.
Yeah, the team culture really got tightened down, and everyone was willing to work hard. So, and work hard at practice, push each other. So
makes a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever stayed at the Del Coronado?
I have not, never been here.
Never even been here.
No, pulling in. I was like, this is
Oh
crazy.
my goodness.
Is, like your family a little jealous?
They're staying here too, I think. So yeah,
That's right.
My mom and dad stayed 1 year, and then I think the next 2 years they stayed like across the street.
Yeah.
Because they were like, we'll just let you be in, and you know.
It's pretty special. Other than the race, what are you looking forward to this weekend?
Hanging out with the guys and developing new relationships with some fast
That's what
runners
everybody
and
says.
hanging out,
That,
yeah.
you talk to people. We mentioned, Sandrowitz and Rupp and all the great Olympians that come through, and a lot of them. This is where they develop those relationships. You're going to Wake Forest. You're going to be in the big time. This is kind of your step up to the big time. So as we mentioned, you're in a small division, but you've raced some pretty big races. Woodbridge, Clovis, the California State Meets big race.
Yep.
But this is really a big race.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is big time.
It is. I don't know. It'll be like Mount Sac in terms of the speed, but there's just going to be way more depth. So it's like the 10 runners that I was with at Mount Sac, and then 30 more of those guys.
That's right. You're going to look around and go, everybody's still in it. Aren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
That's what college is like, though. That's what the NC2A race is like. It's the first mile, everybody's in it. So tomorrow or Saturday, everybody's going to be in it. Just got to relax and run well. Are you excited about it?
Absolutely.
You're gonna have a blast.
Yeah.
You're nervous. I mean, I remember being nervous, but once that gun goes off, it's like, oh, you look around and you're like, oh, they just ran this time, and that's that person, and
Right.
you're right there with them. So enjoy every minute of it.
Yeah.
Enjoy all the nerves and the excitement too.
Yeah. Mark, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Appreciate you coming down, going over the bridge, getting here.
Yeah.
So go home and sleep in a regular bed because tomorrow night you're the king here.
Yeah.
So thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
joining us. We really do appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right.
Good luck. See ya.
All right. What do we got now?
I think we have
Eric Bull.
Boyle.
All right. All right. So we thought we've got several kids that we got to talk to. We thought we'd like to talk to a couple experts and figure out how things are going on. And from DieStat, we've got Eric Bull with us here. Eric, can you hear us?
I can hear you and Carrie. Great, Tim. Good to be with you guys.
Do we have Mark also? A couple experts and figure out how things are going. All right. And so we've got Eric Bull with us here. Eric, we got a DieStat and
I
a
can hear you and Carrie. Great, Tim. Good to be with you guys.
And do we have well, we appreciate you guys being here. A couple experts. We've been looking over the field the last couple days. So let me start with Eric, if you will. Eric, kind of, what do you think as far as the favorites that we have? We don't want you to pick a winner. We think that kind of be unfair. But who kind of, their style fits this course well? Who do you think?
On the girls' side, I mean, obviously, Riley Stewart was spot on. I mean, not just because she's been there before, but I mean, obviously, her strength of running the hills, and even when outside of running lane, I mean, even when she ventured outside of Colorado early in the year, I mean, she went to Nike Portland XC, which is a big time strength courses as well. So I mean, and obviously, Angelina Perez having raced at Holmdel multiple times, that's a woman's course. That's not a young girl's course, and so. Those two really stand out to me. And then Kate Peters obviously showed that she was more than willing to handle those hills at Mount Sac, and really paced herself well in the second half of that race. I would give all of them a nod per se over Natalie Cook because I haven't seen many hills in the great state of Texas anytime in recent memory.
Yeah, but man, she could run. Wow. Hey, let's go to Mark, because Mark, you got to see Kate run last week. She looked pretty good on those hills, didn't she? Especially that last at Mount Sac, 3 big hills. The last one, she looked like she was flying up there.
The thing I liked about Kate most is that she sat back, poised, let Sadie Engelhardt do most of the work early on, knowing that Sadie kind of has run the course before. But when Kate got done, she didn't look like she had redlined at all. She looked like she had another gear. I know she had beaten Riley Stewart earlier on in late September, I believe, up in Portland. But to actually see Kate live in the way she navigated that last downhill, a little sense of, I kind of had her as a dark horse, to be honest with you. but you brought her up right now, so we're going to throw her out there. But getting to see her run live gave me a better perspective on her talent. And again, she just seemed like she just had still another gear in her last week.
Yeah, I think she really did. She looked pretty comfortable at the end. Yeah. Hey, so let's, Eric, Mark was just talking about Dark Horse. Give me, for both of you guys, somebody not necessarily going to win, but somebody you're kind of excited to see. How does she do on this guy? Let's stay with the women for just one more minute. So who are you excited to see on the women's side and how they'll do with this great field? Eric, why don't you go first?
Well, I'm going to piggyback off the great Mark Gardner and talk about Sadie Engelhardt. I'm so fired up about these three freshmen. I mean, obviously, in the case of Zariel Macchia from New York and Abby Faith Cheeseman from Tennessee, both of those young women have been in quote unquote high school running, because of their state association's allow since 7th grade. Obviously, this is what everybody's been waiting for from Sadie, since she was running low 440s in the mile as a 14-year-old in the 8th grade. And so obviously this is what she yearns for. I mean, this is a young woman that even during the pandemic was competing at AAU and USATF JO cross country, which obviously those meets are also going on this weekend as a backdrop to this incredible meet at Balboa Park's Memorial Field in San Diego. But I'm so fired up about Sadie because, as Mark talked about, I had a conversation with her after the state meet, and I said, Sadie, I know how competitive you are, but 10th is as good as first. And what happens? She goes right to the front again. So the kid just loves to compete, and I think that this could be the first of 4 great years for her in San Diego.
We've never had a freshman break 17 minutes. I think she could be the one, huh?
Absolutely. Not putting anything past that young woman.
There you go. Mark, we took Kate away from you. Anybody else you're really excited about watching?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say Sadie too. Because I was trying to check myself at the door, make sure I didn't have any California biases going here on this one. But Sadie is she's run against the best in the nation several times all throughout the season, basically from here in California, and nothing seems to really faze her. But I was really watching Jenna Mulhern run last week out of Pennsylvania. The race that she had, she really stepped it up, and I'm really on the side here. I'm really excited about this girls race. You're talking the mile split ranking, 6 of the top 7, 17 of the top 21. I mean, what a great field we have for the girls. And so when it comes to dark horses, I was kind of really surprised, but for her to finish 4th last weekend, I was really good to see right there, Riley Stewart. And again, not a dark horse at all, but I like Eric, what you said about, Natalie Cook, but I think Natalie's still coming in with, if she wasn't confident going into this weekend, she's confident. She looked great at the Southern Regional, only to look better last week. And I think we got ourselves a heck of a race ready to go here on Saturday morning.
Carrie, you saw Sadie Engelhardt run that 440 mile last year, huh?
Yeah, in the summertime I saw her, and she looked so smooth. Knowing how young she was.
And she's getting better, with the distances and all the rest. All right, let's move over to the boys' side a little bit here. The girls' race, the last 4 or 5 races has been just incredible. The winner coming over that last little mound hasn't even been decided, and we still got 30 meters, and that's it. The boys' races, we've had people pull away. Do you see any boy that can pull away from everybody? I mean, we got guys that haven't lost a race all year. Eric, anybody you think can just, outstrength anybody else? I don't know.
No, as bold as I like to be, I just too much respect for the field. I mean, obviously, with what Gavin Cherry has done, and not only being one of the 2 guys that were there in 2019, along with Aiden Puffer, his fellow Connecticut statesman, but I just think that there's so much respect among the group, right? I mean, a lot of these guys might be seeing each other for the first time, but a lot of these guys, whether they were participating in training camps and Flagstaff or other parts of the country, like these guys know how good one another are, and I think that because of that, I think that they're really going to I mean, obviously they're going to be aggressive and they're going to be courageous and tenacious, but I also don't think they're going to be reckless. So I don't I mean, as great as some of these top level guys have run, I don't see it like a Cheserek of old or a Versbickus of old or a Hunter of old or a Fisher of old that anybody's going to pull away from this field.
Nobody's going to pull away, but somebody's going to try, aren't they? We'll see. We'll see on Saturday. Just too much testosterone out there for somebody not to push that pace. Mark, who are you watching on the boys' side that you really is something special?
I was really impressed last week with what Zane Bergen brought to his race. I mean, the guy, if you go back and watch the race film from last Saturday, he actually took the lead with 800 meters to go. He was there to win. He wasn't there just to show up and take top 5 and finish behind anybody else. And I was really, I mean, he seemed like he was pretty comfortable too at the Midwest region in letting Ho win the race. He seemed really relaxed. The Midwest guys, Riley Ho and Zane Bergen, those two, I'm really looking forward to seeing how they can hook up because, again, like I said earlier with the confidence thing, Bergen should be coming in here confident as can be.
Well, that's interesting that he talks about that because a lot of times we don't talk about the team aspect of what this race is. And we do go into this race kind of gearing off of each other, feeling off each other. And that's interesting that you brought that up, Mark.
So you ran here, Carrie, ran here 3 times. It does kind of get to be a little bit of a team that feel all you girls from the Midwest coming together. I wouldn't say helping each other, but certainly supporting each other.
I think so. And, it's much like college when you have your teammates out there, you're kind of keying off of their moves and you know how they just race. So you know that you beat them, you want to beat them again, but also you want to win as a team. So it'll be interesting.
Hey, let's finish with this. It's the 42nd year of the Kennen, Foot Locker, and now Eastbay National Championships. Just kind of your perspective or what do you have as your fond memory? Let's start again with Eric, if we could, of this great event. What's it come to mind when you think about it?
Well, I just think about the fact that we could have a lot of states that that we haven't seen at the forefront in a long time, and a lot of states that that could be there for the first time in a long time. So it's like, I mean, you can't not think about like the legendary performances like about Fairchild and about and about Reina, and then think about like the or even going back to like Janet Smith-Leet, who was the last New Jersey athlete to run, and now we have Angelina, and the fact that Fairchild and Kaltenbach won, and now we have Riley Stewart, and on the guys' side, like with Riley Ho and all the great Michigan athletes that have won, with most recently Grant Fisher and obviously with, like Mark was talking about, with Bergen, Adam Goucher, so it's just like, I just love the fact that even after a year off, even though we only have 5 people coming back from 2019, it's just those legacy states, right? But then you could also have, someone like a Natalie Cook that could be the first Texas woman ever. You could have a Gavin Sherry that could be the first Connecticut guy ever. So it's like, for as much as we can tie the past to the present, I also think that it gives us the hope for a bright future too.
And Mark, you've been really getting into this the last few years. What's your experience with it? What do you think? What comes to mind?
Well, gosh, how can I top after what Eric just said? It's just it brings back fond memories. I'm going to be a little selfish here. I was able to coach a young lady here to the Nationals, and to this day, talking to her, she still says that was one of the greatest things that she's ever had happen in her life. And it's such a great springboard towards the college and the camaraderie and realizing that we're all in this together. And there just seems to be, watching these kids operate when they meet each other tomorrow night. They're going to get to hang out at the course on Friday, get to race on Saturday. And of course, as you said, they're going to have a luau on Saturday night. So it's just a great bonding moment that these kids are going to get to share and look back upon as something they'll never forget. And, to have Foot Locker, now Eastbay, provide that opportunity for them. And it's such a, beautiful place in San Diego, of course. It's just something that you cannot touch. And it's just really great. And I'm looking forward to being on there tomorrow night and seeing the athletes myself.
Eric and Mark, we want to thank you so much. Both of you guys do such a great job covering the whole country here. We look forward to having you down here next couple of days.
You bet.
Hey, it's always good when we can just drive down the freeway, right, Mark?
Yeah. It's I won't complain. San Diego is always going to be. You don't have to twist my arm to come down there.
Most definitely. Great. It's going to be looking forward to seeing you guys too. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Well, Carrie, we've been talking for 12 months. Are we going to have a race?
Yep.
Well, we got a race.
We're having it.
We got 40 great boys, 40 great girls. What are you looking for most of all?
I can't wait to meet each and every one of
Yeah.
them. You know, I've been able to commentate the NCAAs for a number of years, and then as a pro, I have now gone back into commentating pro races, and it's just so much fun to see the kids that I've seen when they were underclassmen in high school, and to see them go through the ranks.
You know,
the
it's so
NCAAs.
exciting when Molly Saito was in the marathon. So we're texting, all of us text each other. That's Molly. That's
Yes.
Molly. That's and so that's our Molly.
I know.
You know, Molly went on to be NCAA champion.
Yep.
And now she's Olympic bronze medalist. You know, it
And
joins that.
You know, she held the tape at the Midwest Regionals.
That's
I mean,
great. You
just
know, you're right.
keeps coming back.
It really is a great experience for them, and it's a great experience for us, but it's a great experience for the sport. So really the final piece of the 2021 cross-country puzzle, we've got all these undefeated kids. There's only going to be 2 at the luau on Saturday night. So
It'll be fun.
well, hey, thanks so much for joining us. We hope that you'll watch the live stream, the link that you looked on tonight. You can do that. You can watch the whole race on Saturday. Should be great. We've got great guests with us and 2 great races. So we hope that you'll watch us along with us on Saturday. I want to thank you very much for joining us tonight. We'll see you early Saturday morning.